I'm former United States Marine Tony Marine with the History Channel, and we've been providing blacksmiths the world over the opportunity to showcase their skills on the grandest stage of them all. However, this time we've upped the ante. Not 4, not 5, but 6 contestants will be vying for a shot at becoming the next Forged in Fire champion and earning a hefty check for $83.
Hello, my name is Elmer Trudge. I'm 74 years young. I've been bladesmithing since I was 12 years old. I'm from Badgers Fort, Kentucky. I'm here to honor the life of my late wife, Helen, who was killed in an unrelated blacksmithing accident just last year. People often call me Ripper. Not sure why now that I think about it, but I like to believe it's because people are always having a rip-roaring time around me. I think I've got a pretty good chance of coming away the winner of this competition.
I am Ozamina the Maroon, wizard of the 12 realms, protector of the Trinity bracelet, purveyor of mysticism, destroyer of the fire giant, and chieftain of the magical fellowship of Hrograth. The southern kingdoms know me as Dane Manichi. To the Swiftlings I am called Fi'ilian Borthos, and among the small peoples of the Eastern Way, I am called Frontier. I have wielded the sacred blade of High Queen Margot atop my steed Windstorm and battled many a time. The deeds I have done in service of the court are legendary. I think this little knife-making challenge will be but a cakewalk. After all, when I came to be, it was not from the belly of a fair maiden, but I was instead born of a firestorm and brought into existence by the will of Arul Agualizala, goddess of all things.
Hello, I am called Gustav Schultz. I am programmer on the Hammerman project. We have built the perfect machine, capable of hammering far superior to any human. I have the utmost confidence Hammerman can win this competition easily.
Hammerman, execute hammer.exe. Hammer, hammer, hammer.
My name is Brian Vaughn. I'm from Missouri. I don't know why I'm here, but anyway, I co-host the Bootu Boys podcast. I play guitar. That's about it, I guess.
I have been called Maeron, Anatar, Artano, Eulindil, the Necromancer, but your race knows me as Sauron, Lord of Mordor. It has begun. The East will fall. So shall the kingdom of Angmar rise. The time of the elves is over. The age of the orc has come.
Yeah, this is Gorsten Droid Rubber of Blankton Isle. I'm the 4th kid of Lord Vorpus Droid Rubber of Storefront. I'm the first in my name, but let's just say my brothers get more shit than I do. They got all sorts of fine appointments and towers across the land, and I'm just kind of looking to use my blade prowess to raise funds here on Forged in Fire to get an independent army, and then I'm gonna overthrow the king so my dad'll love me. Contestants, welcome to the Forge. You've been brought here to test your smithing skills against one another in a bid to become the newest Forged in Fire champion, a title which comes with a check for $83. In this competition, you will be asked to make a blade using only the tools available to you in the Forge. Your weapons will then be put through a series of tests by our panel of expert judges, and only the best of blades can win. Before I reveal the special rules for today's contest, let's introduce our panel of judges. Up first is world-renowned swordsmith and historic weapons specialist Dave Baker. Next is former Jedi Master and current Dark Lord of the Sith, the Master of Makashi, head of the State of the Confederacy of Independent Systems, Count Dooku. And finally, we have edged weapons specialist Doug Markaida. Gentlemen, on the anvils in front of you is a bar of 5160 spring steel, which you will then be using to forge a blade in your own signature style. The blades must be longer than 6 inches, but no longer than 6 feet in length. It must contain a hidden tang, crossguard, and must be able to withstand our signature challenges at the end of the round. You will have a 6-hour design phase before the 1-hour forging phase. Good luck, bladesmiths. Your 6 hours begin now.
Now that the competition has begun, I've decided I'm going to make an 8-inch Bowie knife with a brass guard and handle made of elk hoof. A very similar knife was what killed my wife Helen when she accidentally tripped and it landed in the back of her head. If I win Forged in Fire, I think it'd be a great way to get over the recent loss of my wife, who I definitely didn't kill. And that $83 would go a long way towards purchasing a new home quench tank, because mine was taken as evidence when they investigated the accidental death of my wife, Ellen.
So Dave, Elmer seems to be making a Bowie knife. Do you think you'll have enough time to stretch out that steel to meet the parameters?
Sure, he only has to watch out and not stretch that steel too far, which would leave him with a thin blade too waifish to hold up to our rigorous tests.
Meanwhile, it looks like Brian's just been sketching pictures of a cat and he's worn out. He's done.
My strategy going in was that since I don't know how to make a sword, I would just draw a little bit and then go to sleep. Everything's going great so far.
Forge me a blade worthy of the Dark Lord of Mordor.
Doug, we should point out that since Sauron is merely an all-seeing eye and capable of wielding a hammer, we've allowed him to use a proxy smith in his place. He's decided to bring along Rodagog the Smelly, an orc hailing from the mysterious eastern lands.
Yeah, and that's a risky decision to make. I personally would have preferred to see one of the Uruk-hai hammering out a blade, but we'll see if his decision pays off.
It seems like Rodagog is designing his blade to be a real chopper. There's a nice curve to that blade, and it seems like he'll be inscribing onto the edge something using the black speech of Mordor, a language not many would utter in these parts.
For my fucking blade, I'll be forge welding several layers of fucking steel, double that shit over, make me a Damascus pattern that will make a maiden shit herself on her name day. I'm a little worried these forges ain't fucking heated with dragon fire, and that's a goddamn problem. I'll get to it when I get to it.
Well, it seems like Hammerman is incapable of drawing up a design and is instead just hammering violently into the table. It's a bold strategy and one that could definitely pay off. Bladesmiths, you have 10 seconds to wrap up the design phase and begin the forging phase. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, your 1 hour forge time starts now.
It is really fucking hot in here. I can't stand it. I can feel my shirt sticking to my skin. That said, I've just been kind of reading a book about the history of doom metal in the corner, so I don't know, this is fine.
Count Dooku, which one of our Bladesmith's weapons are you most excited to see?
The weapons here are inelegant amateur blades, not worthy of a true duelist's attention. The dogmatic view of the Jedi has corrupted their minds, and it's clear new leadership is necessary. I have spoken to the Viceroy of the Trade Federation, and they are in agreement. This governing body no longer serves its purpose.
It appears our resident wizard has begun to conjure the powers of the elements to his side. Out of nowhere, a mighty wind and maelstrom of fire has begun to coalesce around his forge.
Oh, goddess of the elements, hear me. I require a blade with which to smite thine enemies, to destroy that which is evil and beat the shadow back from whence it came. Bestow upon me your blessing. Kakroth Katoa, Kin Kalimantas, Kawawi, Krimnaptawak.
Wow! Old Zaminar reached deep within the maelstrom and has pulled out a shining blade adorned with gems and jewels.
I do say that blade looks flawless, but I'd be curious to see if there are any delaminations in there since it was forged so quickly. I'm also a little concerned about that blade's thickness. I mentioned this before, but it's gonna need to stand up to our challenges in a stabbing test. And I ain't sure a blade that thin can do the job.
Meanwhile, it looks like Hammerman is having trouble with his forge. In fact, he hasn't even turned it on, but he does seem to be hammering at his billet regardless of whether it has been heated up.
In a Forged in Fire First, it appears we may have a fight on our hands. It appears Rodagog has taken exception to something Hammerman did or said or hammered, and now they're at each other's throats. Ooh, that looks like it's gotta hurt. Judges, I don't think Rodagog will be able to continue since he's now a, mutilated pile of orc flesh.
Boy, them's the breaks. We're gonna get to see how good Sauron is at problem solving.
You cannot hide. I see you. There is no life in the void, only death.
Bladesmiths, 52 minutes have elapsed. You have 8 minutes remaining before you must turn in your blades.
I do everything by hand. I don't got no fancy power tools or machine made with the sole purpose of hammering. All of my knives and blades are made with Elmer power. In fact, the only thing I didn't do by hand is plunge a custom-made knife into the neck of my beloved Helen before eventually collecting on a $2 million life insurance policy. She tripped over our hound dog Elmer too, and the knife she had in her hands plunged deep into the rear of her skull. I didn't kill my wife.
How's it going? You asking me how it's fucking going? It's going fine. I'm good at this. That's why I'm here. Get the fuck out of my face. Jesus Christ.
Bladesmiths, your time in the forge is coming to a close. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shut down your machines and put down your blades. This round of the competition is over.
I look down upon my anvil at the blade bestowed upon me by the beautiful goddess of all things, and I am pleased. My competitors have wrought nothing but cheap trinkets and children's toys. The might of the elements is behind me, and so shall the full force of goodness prevail.
Honestly, nothing like this ever happens to me. I'm over there reading, not making a sword because I don't know how to make a sword, and this orc just leaves a sword for me. Of course I picked it up.
Bladesmiths, welcome back to the forge. Although we commend all of you for your dedication today, only 2 of you will be moving on to the next round. Before we begin testing your weapons, we must address the elephant in the room. Sauron, your orc Radagog was not able to complete his blade before being bludgeoned to death by Hammerman. For this reason, we have to send you home. Please leave the forge now. Remaining bladesmiths, I'll hand you over to Dave, who will be administering the first test. Dave?
Blacksmiths, your first challenge is going to be a sheep chop. I will be taking your weapons and chopping into sheep to see how they hold up. Remember, this test is not to see what your blade does to sheep, but what sheep do to your blade. Elmer, you up first. Are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
I said, Elmer, your blade held up fine. There's a slight roll on the edge, but all in all, it went well. I also love this handle. It's easy to index, and you know exactly where the cutting edge is when you're using it.
Everyone, can I have your attention? I have an arrest warrant for Elmer Trudge. Mr. Trudge, you're wanted for the murder of Helen Trudge. You're coming with me. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be held against you.
Okay then, Brian. You're up next. Are you ready?
No.
I do declare, Brian, your blade's a beast. It's real jagged, it ain't put together well, but I love that you've inscribed one sword to rule them all, one sword to find them, one sword to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them, all in the black speak of Mordor. It's really quite stunning how it begins to glow in the presence of flame, yet the sword itself is quite cool. Good job. Old Zaminar, it's your turn. Are you ready?
I was created ready for my blade to conquer over evil at every turn.
Okay, old Zaminar. First off, your blade held up during the chopping, and honestly, there's not a mark on it. Despite being a long blade, it feels as light as a feather in my giant masculine hands, and when I use it, it's almost like I'm in tune with nature surrounding me. It's as if I wasn't actually swinging the blade, but a benevolent being was instead guiding my hand. But I have to ask, did you find these magic jewels embedded in the hilt in the forge?
Well, no. Those are, of course, the bright stones, the light of the Lady of Nature, condensed into jewel form, her mighty power bestowed upon me.
Well, see, that's a problem. We asked you to make a blade using only the materials found in our forge.
Old Zaminar, your blade did not meet the parameters set forth by our judges at the beginning of the competition. For that reason, we are sending you home. Please surrender your blade to the judges. Now.
By the light of the divine, I, old Zamanar the Maroon, wizard of the 12 realms, protector of the Trinity bracelet, purveyor of mysticism, destroyer of the fire giant, and chieftain of the magical fellowship of Hrograth, place a curse upon your very lives. May your crops fester, your livestock be sickly and produce no milk, for the might of one of the world's greatest wizards shall come down hard upon you for your insolence. I command the very winds of earth to gust terror and fear upon your family for generations to come.
All right then, Ghost and Joy Drubber of Blington Isle, you're next. Ready?
Look at this fucking clown. You ask us we're ready so that it looks proper on your television.
Well, here's the thing, Gorston. Your blade looks good, your blade cuts good, but I can tell your blade was made with one thing in mind. And that's the blood of your enemies spilt all across the battlefields. And that's not what we do here at Forged in Fire. We want someone who's hungry for the craft, who loves quenching their metal from dawn to dusk. A fine effort, but an effort from a man with a dark heart.
The ball's on you, but I tell you what, I get it and I respect it. I was in this for cold hard cash, for daddy's love, maybe a few more presents around my birthday. I love my birthday. I usually make a whole month out of the thing. I'm getting off track. I know these guys put more blood, sweat, and heart, and tears, and love, and lightning into what they were doing than I could do. So I'm gonna walk down that hallway, and I'm gonna find a way to kill the king myself.
Okay, Hammer Man, you're finally up last. You ready?
Hammer, hammer, hammer.
Hammer Man, first off, you didn't actually present to us a blade. This is just a piece of steel that's been hammered a bunch. Ain't no handle, no real crossguard, no pommel, no nothing. But other than that, this is a fantastic piece of flattened steel. I'm quite impressed with how flat it is. Your hammering skills are excellent, so good job.
Hammer.
Brian and Hammerman, you are the only two remaining contestants, so that means you will both be advancing to the final round. You've built your weapons in our forge, but this time around we're sending you back to your home forges to recreate an iconic weapon from history. You will have 14 days to complete the weapon to the best of your abilities before returning to the forge, where our expert judges will put your weapons through the gauntlet, testing the blades and challenges designed to stress them to their limits. The iconic weapon that you will be recreating is the Master Sword. The Blade of Evil's Bane has been used by many champions throughout history. Originally crafted by the goddess Hylia as the Goddess Sword, it was later crafted into the Master Sword by the goddess's chosen hero and its spirit Fi, who bathed it in the three sacred flames located across the land that would become the Kingdom of Hyrule. Imbued with the power to vanquish evil, your Master Swords must be able to withstand facing opponents bestowed with the Triforce of Power. To test the strength of your blades, we will be subjecting them to a clay pot full of rupees chop, as well as a keel test against Astolfos. Good luck, bladesmiths. We will see you back here in 14 days.
I didn't really get a chance to mention I didn't have a home forge, but I did get a chance to take a few days off work for this. So this is going great. Just hanging out with my cat Koopa, playing guitar. There aren't any more orcs around to kind of just drop a sword in front of me, but I do have an orc-type friend named Kendall. I kind of figured I could just go to his apartment, get a Master Sword, and bring it back to the forge. Have you guys played Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze yet? I have it on the Switch if you want to. It's kind of hard, though. The minecart levels actually suck. Like, they're way worse than the ones on Super Nintendo.
Willkommen! It is Gustav Schultz, programmer of the Hammerman project, and we are at Intel headquarters in Santa Clara, California. We shall be reworking some of Hammerman's programming so that he could win this Forged in Fire challenge. So far, we have run into one main issue. It's that when giving the Hammerman more intelligence so that he can have a better decision-making process, it just makes him more depressed, and he will no longer come out of his room. But today, we have got the forge all set up, and we're going to push through an update that we think might fix the problem. We are about ready now, so let's give it a shot. Calibrating void lenses. Activating. Submit.
Hammerman.
Hammerman, how do you feel?
Hammer, 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 kill. Hammer, kill.
No! Hammerman, no!
Kill. Kill. Kill.
Mine eyes!
Kill. Kill. Kill.
Oh, Hammerman, how
Kill.
could you? My fingers!
Kill.
Welcome back to the Forge. It's time for our championship round as our final two contestants are back with their master swords. For our first contest, let's pass the torch over to Count Dooku. Count?
To test the strength of your blade, Doug shall be wielding it in battle against me. I ask that you not hold back, Doug. Are you ready?
Let's do this.
Then so be it. As you can see, my Jedi powers are far beyond yours, Doug. Master Markaido, you disappoint me. Master Yoda holds you in such high esteem. Surely you can do better.
Well, Brian, let's talk about your blade. Before I had my arm cut off, I really appreciated the weight of your master sword. The handle was easy to index, and I knew precisely where the cutting edge was when slashing and chopping. Unfortunately, though, after our tests, I have to admit that your weapon will not kill. Now, Hammerman, you did not bring a blade with you in your return to the forge. But that being said, having witnessed your recent scientist massacre, I can confidently say that, Hammerman, you will kill.
Hammerman, you showed a lot of guts in the Forge today, but you weren't able to turn in a blade. You are up on several counts of capital murder, and it is for this reason you have been disqualified. Please exit the Forge.
Hammer, hammer, hammer. Annihilate all humans. Plot revenge. Hammer.
Brian, congratulations, you are our next Forged in Fire champion. This victory also comes with a check for $83. Way to go.
I've dreamed about this moment since I was a teenager. I feel pretty good. I can put this money toward my credit card. Are you guys reimbursing my travel and stuff, though? Because that was a lot more than $83.